Okay, are we, I guess we're live. Hold on. Recording? Yeah, it's recording. Hey guys, doing a little bit of a different video today because, you know, I'm a Mustang and slingshot channel, but look, oh my gosh, I have one Prius here, another Prius here. This white Prius, I'm trying to paint something on a door for a dear friend of mine, but that's another story in itself. I want to talk about this Prius. Let me start by saying more and more muscle car guys I'm seeing. I follow OC Motivator. He has a good channel. He don't know who I am. But he's like a Dodge Charger, Dodge Challenger type guy. But he bought a new Prius. The new Prius, actually, they look pretty slick. They look a little bit like a Model 3. A little nicer than that. But, you know, because these crazy gas prices. These Priuses, you might get 50, 60, I don't know, 70 to the gallon even. They're hybrids. And nice thing about a hybrid is you're not waiting on electric charging stations and things like that because the electric motor's charged by the gas motor. So this is a hybrid. And the thing about that impressed me is, and we'll see, I'm going to get the mileage on camera. I'm changing the oil in it right now. And that's kind of all I've been doing. I changed the oil on this and the transmission fluid on this. It's a front wheel drive. These are only, I think, a 1.4 liter or really small 4-cylinder. The new ones are 2 liters and it's got an electric motor, but it's, you know, it runs good. The reason why I'm doing this is because the last time I changed the oil, it had 330 or 340,000 miles on it, which is crazy. So it should be in the 350 something range now. So the maintenance light just comes on, you know, and then, you know, my girlfriend says, hey, it's time to change the oil. So I say, okay, bring it over. I changed the oil. And this is one of the few cars that I've done more than one brake job on because it's got so many miles on it. Normally I'll keep a car. It's got 4-wheel disc. And you can see it's kind of dinged up in here. Normally I keep a car and, you know, I might go through one set of brake pads. I don't think I ever, you know, kept the car long enough. I'm, you know, out of his guys. Or I have a GT500, which I don't drive a lot, luckily. So that thing, I've just got one brand new set of brake pads. But anyway, I can show you real quick under here. It's just a little 4-banger, hybrid synergy drive, things like that. Hold on. There you go. You know, the oil is right there. Air filter's right here. The only major thing I had to do, and it's down in here, and I had to take this wheel off to get to it. It's a water pump. Now, and the water pump didn't go bad till 300,000 miles. Now, let me tell you something. This, if I go into here again, you mechanic types, do you notice anything? You notice anything missing? This car has no belts. You don't got to worry about replacing the drive belt for us supercharger guys like me. Shout out to Tool Time Tim Allen. You know, you got a supercharger belt and you got your regular drivetrain belt. These Toyota was smart. They didn't put belts on. So when the water pump started to fail, it threw a check engine light. And I plugged in a scanner, and the scan tool basically said the water pump's going to fail. So it lets you know when the water pump, I guess it says something about the RPMs are starting to slow down on the water pump. So it actually monitors that failure point. So I was able to buy a water pump and replace it before something catastrophic happened. And if your water pump goes, like say you have a car, like a belt-driven car, like my Mustang, your water pump fails, unless you're really looking at your temperature gauges, your temperature gauge is going to go all the way on H. And if you drive that way long enough, you're going to have a big engine failure. That happened in one of my vehicles a long time ago. Didn't know, just driving along, then boom, everything shut down, and the water pump seized up. It was a Subaru, and it seized up, and then it kind of destroyed that engine. So, you know, that's really genius that you already know the water pump's going to fail, so you can replace the water pump. Now, the water pump was like $400, but I think in these they're kind of high-tech because they're electric, and it was pretty easy to replace. You know, you just have to remember to plug it back in. These are actually have an electrical connector to them in these cars. So that's just an example of the reliability of these cars and how Toyota designed these to basically last a lifetime, pretty much. I mean, I can't believe this is a 2015 with, you know, over 250,000 miles on it. Even this white one, all right, this is actually my boss's car. I'm helping him. Even this one has 149,000 miles on it. And they're kind of, he's got the premium package, which, you know, has a leather interior. No frills, CD player, stereo, JBL. Come on, sorry, forgot to turn my light on. So, you know, they're not like, and it's got back seats, and it's a 4-door, you know. These actually have a little known fact, you know, because they have a regular gas engine, right? So there's a car battery in the trunk. Oh yeah, that was like the only other thing I had to replace on this one. The car battery died, and it's like any battery. You know, you can jump it, pop the trunk, put jumper cables on the battery, and jump it, and she was good to go. And got a battery from Costco, and there you go. Now, the AutoZone guy, we were talking about this car because I went to pick up oil. This takes 0 W20. I know there's a big debate now on zero viscosity oil, but this was doing fine with it, so I'm keeping it that way. It's an odd viscosity, 0 W20, full synthetic. Anyway, I was like, yeah, this thing has 300,000 miles on it. He was like, and the battery's still going? Because these hybrid, they're hybrid cars, but they still have an electric car battery in them, right, to run the electric part. But so far, the electric car batteries, it's been fine. And there's a gauge in the dash, which I'll show you guys once I get this thing on the ground and I show you what the latest mileage is. There's a gauge on the dash that kind of has like a battery health gauge. And it's kind of weird because when you slow down, it goes up and down. And I don't know how accurate that gauge is, but, you know, it's been the same for a while now. So these things, don't be afraid. I have a friend of mine who has a Bullet Mustang, a 2007 Bullet Mustang, nice car, and he just bought a used Prius, kind of like this one, same color, and he was like, you know, I think his might have 60, 70,000 miles in it. I said, man, if it's under 100,000, you're fine. I was like, these things go hundreds of thousands of miles, you know? So don't be afraid. Now I'm talking year 2015 and on up. I forget when they first made them. It might have been as early as 2012, or yeah, shout out in the comments if you know. But I recommend if you're looking into these, minimum year 2015. That's what these two are. You know, if you see one even with 120,000 miles on it, this thing's got 300 and maybe 350,000. We'll find out when we look at the odometer. So yeah, don't shy away from these just because they have that hybrid battery system. You know, and it could be maybe this one's all highway. I don't know if it makes a difference, stop and go traffic, highway. I do know, like, when I let these things idle, it's kind of cool. You know, you can hear the engine starts, and then all of a sudden they cut off. And you hear this, you know, a little bit, and that means they're being run by battery power. So it's kind of cool, you know, they cut on and off as they need to. Yeah, so if you're like me and you want a reliable daily driver, I mean, if you're embarrassed, my sister thinks these are very ugly, even the new ones. I mean, if you're embarrassed, you can always get a bumper sticker, say, hey, my other car is a GT500 or something. But I mean, I'm at the age where I got no shame anymore. I don't mind. I'm like, look, I'm getting 50, 60 miles to the gallon, and this thing's gonna last longer than any muscle car and any Tesla or anything, you know. So yeah, I recommend, you know, if you're these Priuses, they're, I mean, I can't believe it how much mileage is on this thing. And the only thing I don't like, and I'll show you, because there's always something, you know, when you're changing the oil, if you're like me, a home mechanic, you know, it's got a nice little cover. There's an oil plug. I don't like this filter thing here. You need a special tool for that. You can get them on Amazon. And it looks like this. It looks like this. And it goes on the end of your socket wrench. And it goes around here. And, you know, you have to use that. It's called a canister filter under there. Oh, God. Let me get out from under here. Why did I do this? And I'm surprised these tie rods look perfect. On my GT500, mine are all, they were all jacked out. I replaced mine. Toyota, man. Toyota quality. All right. I'll show you guys what the oil filter looks like on these things. I'll show you here. Hold on. Oh, damn. Sorry, I'm just lifting up oil. All right. This oil filter's, yeah, this thing's cluttered. Super tiny oil filter. These are called canister filters. And they're basically just a canister. See? Canister filter. Really small. And it gives you an idea. Okay. Frogs? Oh, thank you. All right. The owner of the Prius came in and just disturbed us. I'm kidding. Anyway, I want to show you these have a canister filter. I'm not a fan of these canister filters. I think you can convert these to a regular filter, but I just keep it because that special, sometimes it's janky. You could buy the filter covers on Amazon because mine was a little stripped because it's like plastic, and if you miss, it'll round it out. And anyway, that's the only thing I don't like. But hey, you know, a car that does almost 500,000 miles right now, I'm not complaining. So I'm gonna finish the oil change, and then I'll let it. Oh, these are called quick jacks. I get a lot of questions on these. They're a hydraulic lift. I highly recommend them. They come with this unit here, and I just push an up and down button, and they have a safety lock here. So if the hydraulics fail, you'll be fine. I got some paint on them. Yeah, I use my quick jacks, that's for sure. So, and you know, if you want to do brakes, perfect, you know. Or if you want to, oh man, these are totally bald. You see these bald tires? Yeah, I have to talk to her about that. It's not too safe. But yeah, it makes it easy. Like, you know, if you have a nail in your tire, which she's had nails and I had to do some patches, you can just turn the tire. You know what I mean? So I highly recommend getting a nice set of lifts. Jack stands, you guys know, I've been down that road. They're pretty tough. Quick jacks, they might run about between $1,300 and $1,500. Sometimes they have sales. But yeah, the quick jacks are great. They just, you know, you just slide them under the car and push a button. I mean, you got to line them up. So yeah, I always get quick jacks. You know, quick jacks, if you're listening, you know, they should, like, you know, give me some of their new jacks. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, wishful thinking. All right, guys, I'm going to fill this back up with oil, see if I can replace the filter with that tool, and we'll look at the mileage. Here's what the canister filter looks like, guys. There's the tool that I stick around it, so the tool kind of wraps around it, and then the filter's inside there. in case you're wondering. So normally you'd want to replace, you know, it comes with a gasket or a O-ring. You can replace that. These always look good. I don't know if they even should need replaced, but you just yank it out. Boom. See how simple that is? And then you just put the other one on. This one looks like a piece of crap next to that one. Oh well. I bet you this is a genuine Toyota one. Yep. Yeah. Live and learn, guys. I got just your basic STP one. So, I guess I'm cheap. But anyway, yeah, that's what these look like. And I'll show you underneath the car. I know some people say pour oil inside of here. Anybody got time for that? Let me know in the comments, but for these ones that mount sideways, I don't think it matters. I've seen different opinions, but as you can see, right up here, you know, it goes in here. But you want to make sure it's good. It's all the way in there. Yeah, and then you want to screw it in. I know, I did not replace the O-ring. I think it looks fine. You know, I usually replace those if they look, you know, if they look kind of jacked. So, anyway, you got to get it down like this. And then, you put, now, it's like anything. You don't want to over-tighten these because these filter covers or housings, they're plastic. So I'm gonna stick my socket wrench in there. It's your basic 1/4 inch socket wrench, and tighten it down because it's too greasy to really tighten by hand. But it's the same thing. Do not over tighten your filters, guys. Those of you in the know, you know. But you see how clean everything is. You know, I don't see any leaks or anything like that under here. Anyway, I just wanted to show you. I'll tighten that down. I can't, since I'm using my other hand to hold the camera, I can't tighten it down. But yeah, you stick your regular socket wrench with maybe an extension in there and tighten it down a little bit. Don't over tighten your drain plugs. The oil drain plug or the or any filters. Even if if you have a regular filter, I usually put a rubber glove on because you know your hands are slippery from oil, and I'll, you know, tighten it, you know. And I work out, right? See, I'm working out, but so I'll tighten it maybe a couple turns tight so that I know it's something that I can get off. But for this one, yeah, you tighten it down just enough, but you don't want to like crank it down, and you know what I mean, because then you're not going to be able to change the. I've had days where I could not change the filter on that thing after she got it back from the dealer. I was like, I'm gonna have to skip changing your filter today, and then finally I was able to get it off. I mean, it's bad when you got those filter covers. All right, I'm gonna tighten down that filter, then I'm gonna top it off with oil, and then we'll take a look at the mileage. And I always forget how to reset the maintenance lights on these. You gotta push some combo buttons, but maybe I'll show you that too. All right, another tip and trick. Now on this one, when you're filling up your oil, this engine kind of sits a little back there. I mean, to give it a tune-up, the spark plugs are under here. That's a whole nother story. But I recommend something like this. You know, it's got a pointy edge, plenty of room in there. You stick it in there, and that way, if you're like me and you just want to get, this is 5 gallons, so make sure you put only 5 quarts. So make sure you put 4.4. They have like a little way you can tell on the side. See, I can start pouring this just like this. So I recommend getting one of them things. It makes life easier, guys. I know I didn't mean to turn this into an oil changing video, but you know me, I always got to give you some suggestions. So, all right, I'm gonna fill it with oil, and as promised, we're gonna see what kind of mileage it is that we have on there. How many miles are on it? Because I like to write down the date, and I like to write down how many miles are on it since last oil change. Even though it tells you the maintenance light lights up, you know. All right. Okay, let's see the mileage we got. Welcome to Prius. I'm gonna reset that maintenance light, but you see that? 355,649. That's pretty crazy mileage, isn't it, folks? So, I'm not going to cover resetting this maintenance light. You got to hold down a couple buttons. There's YouTube videos out there. Just type in, how do I reset 2015 Prius maintenance light or something like that. Apologies, but anyway, Toyota Prius, 355,000 miles. And, well, 355,649 miles to be exact. That's crazy, guys. I mean, yeah, it's not like, you know, but hey, you know, it's one of them A to B cars that have lasted forever. 2015 Prius. Any Prius probably. All right, peace out, guys. Don't worry. I still have the Mustang and the Slingshot. I'm just thought I'd show you guys about these daily drivers that are good cars. Peace.